Hi everyone, good morning. Thanks for joining. So yesterday we have completed one of the demo session. Today we are continuing with the another final demo session. Okay. Now yesterday we have discussed about the projects, designations. Okay, how cloud ERP works, how Oracle Fusion is in a high demand in the market. Okay, as a consultant roles, everything we have discussed. Okay. Now today I'm going to start with the data migration. Okay, whenever the client decides, whenever any organization is moving from their legacy ERP application. An example, if the organization existing ERP application, if they are using the PeopleSoft application and they are migrating to the Oracle Fusion application. Okay, that we call it as a data migration or data conversion. Okay, and moreover, this is called implementation project. In implementation project, one of the uh, activity data migration, once we complete our configuration, the basic configuration, then we start the data migration. Okay, and data migration plays an important role in the implementation because we are migrating, the organizations are migrating from the PeopleSoft to Fusion application. Now we have two types of data. One is master data, second one is transactional data. Okay, now how do we collect this master data and transactional data? What is master data? Master data is like suppliers data, customers data, okay, and journals, invoices, these things we call, and transactionals. Okay, transaction, journal, invoices, receipts, and bank transaction, we call it the transactions. Okay, and now the company is using that legacy ERP application PeopleSoft since 20 years, it might be past 15 years, they might be using. Now they have decided to move to Oracle Fusion. They have chosen the Oracle Fusion application. Now how they have chosen the Oracle Fusion application? There is a big concept that we call the implementation. Before getting into the implementation project, if you observe, if you are aware of how we get contracts, so let us take an example, the road contracts or maybe toll gates, okay, airports, any tenders, how contracts are getting means they will be bidding, all the companies will be, suppose, now let's take an example of the A. Let me take A, B, C.
Apa?
Yeah.
Kailan?
Can you please win? Okay, thank you. So now A company is moving from legacy ERP to Fusion application. Now B and C, the service-based companies who are giving services to implement the Oracle Fusion. Okay, they are providing the services to implement the Oracle Fusion from their legacy from a legacy system to Fusion application. Now A will be taking the quotation from the different organization, the service based organization. It depends on the cost, okay, resources, time frame, everything. If any one of the criteria they met it, suppose B has met their criteria, their conditions, okay, they will be selected. Now B will be implementing this entire the implementation project. If they are moving their entire financials to implementation into Fusion application, now B is the one where the contract has been signed out. Okay, now B will be implementing the entire implementation project. Now let us talk about why we are taking this data migration. Suppose after moving into the Oracle Fusion application, the client A client is moving to Oracle Fusion application. Now their historical data is available in the PeopleSoft ERP application. Now, after a 1 year, after implementation, maybe after 2 years, they are not going to use the PeopleSoft application, but they want their data should be in the Fusion application, historical data. That is very important. Now, Client will decide how many years of historical data should be moved from legacy ERP application to Fusion application. It could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. Based on the client confirmation, then we'll be working on the data migration. Moreover, now, supplier data. Let's take about supplier data. Now, the PeopleSoft application is having the 1 lakh records. Maybe 1 lakh supplier data records, some supplier records available. Now, do we think all the 1 lakh suppliers should be moved into the Fusion application? There could be so many reasons. There could be so many challenges while moving to the data migration. Suppose out of 1 lakh supplier records, there are already 25,000, 25K suppliers are already inactive in the PeopleSoft application. These suppliers are not doing any services to the organization. It could be past 5 years, it could be past 10 years. Now, really, the organization requires this data? No. They will decide it. How many out of 1 lakh, how many suppliers are active suppliers, how many suppliers are inactive suppliers, how many are the one time suppliers. Okay, they will be deciding. Okay, they will give the list. Okay, these are the suppliers we want to move, only these particular supplier data we want to move, then we will be moving. Then what about transaction is the invoices, journals, receipts, bank transactions, whatever the transaction we have. Okay, what are the transaction they have in the PeopleSoft, they want to move last 5 years or they want to move the last 10 years data into the Fusion application before. So because for future references, if someone is coming and asking, if supplier asking maybe 2020 invoice records, that should be available in the Fusion application, because we are not that organized, the A client is not going to use the PeopleSoft application. Okay, now how to collect the data from the client. This is okay. How to collect the data from the client. So earlier, if you observe, before cloud ERP, before computer, okay, so we used to we used to input the manually. We used to record the data manually by looking the books or by looking the data from the Excel. Now everything is an automated process. Everything is an automated process. Now we should understand what is a one-time activity, what is an ongoing activity. We should understand in the data migration. Supplier, journals, invoices, receipts, bank transaction, ongoing activity. Every day, this is an ongoing activity. And this is one-time activity. Suppliers data, customer data, whenever the any organization is moving to the implementation side, fusion side, there will be one-time activity. Okay, and now how to collect the data. Okay, how to collect the data from the client. Now there are huge records. There are huge records that we have to move to the Fusion application. Now we have data load through ADFDI, FBDI. We have to understand the ADFDI and FBDI. ADFDI is the inbuilt Excel application within the Oracle, within the Oracle application, within the Oracle application we'll be seeing. Now FBDI is the outside Oracle OS will be downloading from the Google side, and this is from the CSV format zip folder we need to load into the Fusion application. Now, most of the time, okay, 100% whenever there is a data migration happen, we'll be using the API because it supports the large data. ADFDI supports only limited data, okay, minimum data, limited data. Limited. Whereas every day there is no limit. There is no limit. Suppose 1 lakh records, if you are going to try with the ADFD, you may get an error. That is not the capacity of the ADFD. It is the capacity of the 5,000, 2,000, 10,000, 15,000. But wherever we have the maximum data, we will be using the everyday. Now, how to collect the data means we'll be demonstrating the client. Go to Oracle OER. You have to type Oracle OR repository. Oracle OR repository. And we will be we need to download the Excel files from everyday templates. We call it as a everyday templates. Okay. We call it as a everyday templates. We need to download from the application. One second. Let me type one second. Yeah. So we need to search with the Oracle OR. Then we have the cloud application. Okay, whether you are a practice, whether we are in a real time, this is how we download the templates or we give the demonstration to the client where we have these templates. You can, but sometimes client may feel that they are not going to download. They feel that okay, we may get the wrong template. So that what will do the entire suppose now B is doing the implementation project. Now there will be share folders. There will be the B will be maintaining the share folders within the client. From the A client environment, they will be maintaining the share folders. We will go to here and we will be saving the entire templates in the share folder, drive access, where client and both organization, that B implementation project, where they are going to have the access. Now go to here, we are go to the financials, go to all books. It takes some time. We have not only for the only financials, everything you can have and you can download the templates from here. Here, file based data import. File based data import. Suppose the particular client is only implementing the GL. Let us take an example of the only implementing the GL. Then we will be going to the general ledger module. Okay. And we will be downloading the relevant template. Go to the general ledger. We have the general ledger, expand it, scroll down. Suppose now client, they are going to move down, move to general, means the transaction journals. Okay. Now the data has to move to the Fusion application. We have the template here. You can see journal import template. Download this one. It takes some time. Again, download it. Okay. Now open from here. We will be saving in the drive. Okay. And we'll be giving the guidance to the client as well, what data they have to fill. Wherever there is a star mark, if they see a star mark, that is mandatory. Now, this data will be provided by the client side. Provided by the client side. They will be, this is an example, and they will provide the each and every data, every column, whatever the requirement, they will be filling it. Okay. And if they have any questions, they will reach out to the our consultant. Because suppose if you are working in a implementation project, if you are taking care of the GL data migration side, then you are the responsible to help them and you need to guide them. See, now whatever the data is possible, they have to fill it. Now, after receiving this data, from the client, what we have to do as a consultant, we need to perform data validation. This is a template, and we have the generate CSV file. We need to make into zip folder, and we'll be loading in the Fusion application. Okay, we need to go to step-by-step workflow for your data. We need to go to tools. We have 2, 3 options. Go to schedule process, how we can load it. But before loading, what we have to do? We have to do the data validation, data cleansing. We can also call it the data cleansing. That means, suppose their client has submitted the incorrect data. Suppose duplicate data they have submitted. Okay. Now you need to, as a consultant, we need to perform the data validation. Whether the data is correct, whether it is only single data, is there any duplication of data? Okay. Everything date forward. Suppose there is a 2012 4/9. Okay. So you can see what is here? Date, month, year. Suppose if they have entered incorrect format, then you need to correct it. You need to correct it. Everything. So if there are star mark, this is star mandatory fields. Now they are not provided. Client has not provided the data. Then you need to again reach out to the client stating that, see, the F column currency code is a mandatory. Can you please complete or finish this entire and fill the data and please resubmit it. You cannot fill it. There could be so much data, right? Everything. Now suppose you found duplicates out of 1 lakh records, you might be finding the 1,000 duplicates. You cannot remove directly those 1,000 duplicates. You need to make separate sheet and you need to reach out to the client. See, while I am doing the date validation, I found 1,000 duplication. Can you please review and confirm so that I can remove this data from the original while loading, before loading into the Fusion application? Everything is a transparent. You need to reach out to the client before loading any data, before doing any configuration, because once you configure, there are certain things that cannot be undo, that cannot be deleted in the application. Okay. Now, okay, now when we are using the ADFW for the transaction, even though in the implementation time we are not going to use the ADFD because there could be so much transaction. Okay, n number of transaction. Now let us go to the application, see the ADFD template within the Oracle. This is an outside application. Within the application we have the inbuilt spreadsheet. See, it is a normal Excel file. We are not going to load it directly. We have the options. Go to general accounting, where you can see the particular anything, general accounting, payables, okay, receivables, cash management, fixed asset, where you can load through the spreadsheets. Go to journals within the application, spreadsheet wise. Okay, create journals in spreadsheet. Let us click this one. And this ADFD used for the transaction every day. Suppose if the end users are using the journals, okay, they want to create the 100 journals. So by using ADFD, they can load the journals in the Fusion application. And this is where we have to log in from our user wise. Okay, from this user, we have to log in. User credential we have to provide. Let me give. And this instance is a real-time instance. It's not a public instance. Moreover, it is a private instance. Okay. Okay. Now I logged into the application. Okay. That is a spreadsheet application with the user credential. The whatever the user I'm using, I logged in. Okay. Now we have the ready template where we need to input the data. Where we need to input the data. These are the data where you have to star mark is a mandatory, double star is a mandatory, double mandatory. Okay. Now we'll fill the data accordingly. Our end users will fill the data. Daily base end user will use it, but for testing purpose, whatever we do, we'll use the spreadsheet and every day. And we have the option, we have submit options, we have directly we can submit, where we'll see few options where this data will be fetched into the Fusion application. This is one way, that is a spreadsheet. Second one is the first one is the everyday, where we need to download the template and you need to fill the data. The client will provide the data, you need to validate the data, and you will be loading. Okay. Moreover, in real time, are we really going to use the everyday template every day? It is like 35% to 36. Whenever you are in a project, so that is called implementation project, you will be using, because you will be performing testings. Okay. And whenever you are in an enhancement support project, okay, means there are new requirements are came from the client. Okay. Suppose you are in a support project, now users are not able to load the journals, load the invoices, then there is an errors at the time. You need to be cross check, you need to find out the what is the error, and you need to try with the same data in the lower instances, not in the production directly. Lower instance, you will check it. And if the data is fetching in the fusion application, what error you found out? Okay, is there any data errors, or is there any process error that user is making? You need to guide him, the user, and user will, again, you will try to load it. If he gets it, you will be uh, closing the tickets. Now let's go to the our, I mean, this is we call the data migration, how we'll be collecting. Okay. Now we'll be having the integrations as well. Suppose now client is moving for financials only GL module. Okay. Or all modules other than GL. Okay. Now client want this same data. So GL data also in the PeopleSoft. Okay. Now GL module is only implementing in the Fusion application. Remaining entire modules in the PeopleSoft. Now what will happen? The main application is the only ERP. This one, PeopleSoft, main application for them, because they are not going to start entire all financial modules at a time. They will take some time. The first one has to be succeeded, and so they have to see the cost, everything, and time framing. Okay, how accurately it is working application, how user friendly that application is there. Okay, everything they will estimate it after implementation. So they will select only one GL model to implement it, and they want the GL data should be in the PeopleSoft as well. At the time, they will use the integration to reflect this GL data into PeopleSoft as well. Whatever data is available in the GL side in the Fusion, the data has to move to the PeopleSoft, maybe weekly, daily, how it has to be, the client will decide it. Okay. Now, we have the, as yesterday discussed, Oracle is the only ERP application. Every 3 months, quarterly base, they are upgrading the new features. Upgrading the new features. How we can check in the Google? How we can check in the Google? Let's go to, yeah. You have to type what's new in Oracle. You can see Oracle Fusion Cloud Financial 26B, what's new. Let's click on this one. You can find what are the new things are available, new features are available. See, these are the ERP agents, treasury of payments, record to payment, tax and compliance, regional compliance. These are the features they added. Suppose now you want to see the procure to pay side. Now see, payables invoice process. This is our financials. Let us click on this one. Landed cost line, classification of payable invoices from file based data import. Let's click on this one. And you need to go through it. This entire document, if you have time, we need to go through it. We need to understand what is this feature, whether we are going to work out whether the client requires or not, but we should be aware of what other, at least what are the features they are releasing it. Okay. Now designate invoice lines in the payables invoice import spreadsheet to link landed costs, charge references, helping payable users easily mark them as a landed cost during bulk processing. When you import invoice using payables invoice import spreadsheet, you can now set the landed cost enable flag on each invoice line. If the flag is set to Y, the line is treated as a landed cost line, and it is passed to landed cost management for the variance calculation allocation. So we have so many things. We need to just read out so that we'll understand. Documents, and we have, see, you can go to credit to cash and revenue management receive. This is also our financials. Let's go to, you can see REST API. Okay, these are separate OIC, embedded receivable e-invoice integration with the Thomas and recruiters. Okay, automated revenue recovery for sales invoice payment. Okay, this one prepayment. In earlier, only we should the prepayment option is available in the only AP side, accounts payable side. Now they have also implemented the prepayment option in the AR as well. Means the prepayment issuing an advance to the supplier. Now prepayment in AR means getting advance from the customers. Where in AP, organization will pay the advance to the vendors. Where in AR, organization will receive the advance for the advance from the customer for the products. Okay. Now this is one of the what's new. Let's go to okay. So this is regarding the data migration. Let me go to real time once. Okay. This one. In real time, we have, as Esther discussed, we are the consultant. We are going to work on the consultant side, not as the end users. End users, what is the consultant versus end users? Job roles and responsibility. So, if you are starting, we have three types of project. One is implementation project, support in enhancement project. Okay. Now, as a consultant, what are the ticketing tools we'll be using in real time? Jira, ServiceNow, own ticketing tools. These ticketing tools are used by the business ticketing tools. Okay, client require, so client will be using these ticketing tools. Okay, suppose if you are in a support project, if you are working as a consultant or senior consultant and you are in a support project, okay, ticket types, what will be having the ticket types? Incident, we call it as an incident. So that is a production issues, means regular activities performed by end users. Suppose now end user is trying to create an invoice, or end user is trying to do the validation. Okay, end user is trying to cancel the invoice. So at the time they are getting some errors. They are getting some errors. So that is the production issues. Okay. Now what end users will do? End users will raise the ticket in the Jira or ServiceNow, or if they are maintaining their own ticketing tools, and while raising the ticket, the end user will mention the, see, this is the issue I am doing, this is the invoice number, and they will mention in the screenshot everything, exact error, everything they will take out and they will load in the ServiceNow or Jira, whatever the ticketing they are using, and they will be mentioning the SLA, service level agreement, between the organization and client. They will be following the service level agreement. Suppose if the issue is a P1, means high level, that issue has to be resolved within the 24 hours. If there is no dependency, if there is a dependency, what is called as a dependency? Maybe application bugs, okay, and it is a really a bug, so that has been occurring, okay. At the time we cannot do because that is a bug, system issue. But whatever the process knowledge graphs, whatever it could be, we have to resolve within the 24 hours, and it is called as a metrics also we can call it. Okay, and based on the SLA, because this is an agreed SLA, if there is a SLA is not met by the company, so client is going to charge or maybe going to keep a fine. So that is a usual thing. They will have the agreements before starting the project. Only they will have in the agreements. If the SLA is not meeting, then they will be charging so much, because they will be paying you. Again they will take from the organization. That could be $500, that could be 600. It depends on. Okay. Now task, what is a task? Ticket types: routine work or small work. Routine work or small work. P3 medium. So routine work, it could be anything. Suppose they want to do one configuration. Okay, suppose maybe, so those are the routine works. Okay, so that could be, they will be raising the P3 medium. Now change request. Change request is the one of the enhancement project. One of the enhancement project, that we change request will be new requirement of the payment report. Example, payment report is already not available in the Fusion application. Now they want the payment report to be built. This is a technical side, just I mentioned. But you will be involving as a consultant, as a functional consultant, you will be involving in the technical side as well. That to help what are the payments, that could be, you will be working with the technical consultant coordination. Okay, and that could be P1 or P3, it depends on the business requirement, and the change request will have the time limit. There could be 15 days, there could be 20 days, 30 days. It could be based on the availability, based on the priority. Will be taking the requirements and will be starting. Okay. Now, once you receive these tickets as a consultant job role, what we have to do? We need to acknowledge the ticket. First, we need to acknowledge the ticket. There are status: in progress, on hold, close. Always, if you are working, okay, if you have started, then you should keep the status as a in progress. And your what are the tickets you are working? These are the monitored by the client side as well as the organization side. Okay, always you should be very proactive, and you need to acknowledge the ticket immediately as soon as you receive. Then you need to start your analysis, analyzing the issue. Okay, process issue, knowledge issue, application issue, incorrect data entered from end user side. On hold, dependency from the user side. Suppose user has raised a ticket yesterday. Now you logged in and you got one ticket, and user is on leave today. Okay, maybe unplanned leave. Okay, there could be any reason. Okay, but how you are not, you did not understand the proper the ticket what he mentioned. Okay, what is asking, what is the requirement? Then there is a dependency. Okay, or else suppose, so there is a dependency from the Oracle side. Okay, we have done all your analysis. Okay, and you maintain one evidence document, whatever you have done. So still there is no that you did not get the any resolution. Okay, and again you will reach out to your lead or lead consultant manager, and just for the overview whether you have done correctly or not. Suppose it is really a bug issue. Okay, then there is a dependency that will be, you will be keeping on hold, and dependency from the user side, you will be mentioning the Oracle side. You will be raising the Oracle, you will be raising the service request as well. To this Oracle will be providing the support. Our Oracle will be providing the support. So Oracle team will take this incident or this ticket, and they will be their Oracle development team will perform, or maybe they will start working on the particular request. And we will be involved in the OWC call. They will be scheduling a call with you, and they will be asking you to share the screen. And if they have any question, they will ask you, and you need to answer all those questions. Okay, and if that issue is resolved, then you will be closing the ticket. You will be closing the ticket. Issue is fixed, and you will be close the ticket. Now, in support project, I told you if there is a requirement, new requirement. Okay, these are the steps you need to follow. Scheduling the call to understand the requirement, impact analysis. Okay, preparing SDD solution design document, SDD approval, development in dev and UAT, QA testing, UAT testing by end user, UAT sign off, production deployment. Okay, these are the activities we perform as a consultant. Now, end users, end users, end user. What end user will do? They will do daily activities. Non-IT, we call it as a non-IT, daily activities. Suppose, let's take an AP side, invoice validation. Okay, invoice validation, invoice processing, invoice payments, reconciliation. All these are the from AP side, AP module, AP department, AP team. They will be doing the regular activities. Invoice validation. What is, suppose supplier submit the invoices. They will be entering into the one of the application. They will be entering or validating in the same application. Like suppose supplier name, okay, supplier name, like bill to ship to, okay, dates, okay, and quantity, price, okay, remit, every details, all the details they'll be validating. Okay, invoice processing. There are, if there are now, as of now, invoice processing has been automated 99%. When we are processing means invoice processing, if there are any exceptions, if there are any exception payments, this now, earlier we have the manual payments, now we have the automated payments where organization using the bulk payments, and we have the automated option as well in the fusion. Okay. Now reconciliation. Everything these are the doing. So what is reconciliation? They'll be downloading the different Excel sheets, and they will be doing the VLOOKUPs or maybe HLOOKUPs, some the pivot tables. That is a manual work. Now in the Fusion application, that is not happening because we have everything is the reports. Go to earlier we used to have the non-IT team. If you observe, most of the people will be working on the Excels. They will be doing the pivot tables if they want one report, and they'll be going to the any other application, not this fusion application. Okay, and here we have the reports also available. Now everything will, these reports will be built from technical side, so users can just download and they can see the what is the status. You can go to reports and analytics tools. Okay, under tools we have the reports and analytics. We have two types. One is OTBI reports, BI reports. Go to browse catalog. Even users also know how to pull the reports because they will get the trainings from their organization. Okay. Now we have the share folders. Okay. Now let me go to customs, financials. Now I want to go to payments. You can see amount paid by the vendor, amount paid by vendor by department, GL transaction report by department, AP supplier paid items, AP. These are the seeded ones. Okay, these are the seeded reports. Just I'm showing you. Let me show you one of the report. Okay, let me open this one. Disbursement payment file formats. Okay, expense reports. You can have anything. Let me open this one. AP supplier paid items. We have the parameters that we have to provide the parameters. One second, let me edit. Okay, let me show you from here. One second. We have two options where we can pull the reports. One is from the reports analytics, one is from the schedule process. Let me go to schedule process. Go to schedule new process. Go to drop down, search. Now I want the search daily journals report I am pulling out. Provides subledger journal activity for a given period or date range and other criteria, including journal source, entered currency. Click on this one. We will have the parameters. Ledger I am providing. My ledger. Okay. Or one second. Allied PL. Journal source. Manual I am giving. Source. whether you have entered manually or you have loaded through the spreadsheets. Okay. Period I am entering. We need to select the period. Let us take April 26 to which period to which period you want. Okay. If you want till June. And these are the parameters. Okay. Done. Just submit this one. Sorry. Go to search bar. In the process, just paste it. Enter. This is running. Just refresh here. Succeeded. Click on republish online, where you can see the formats also, where which one you want in PDF, you want in Excel, which format you want. So I want in the Excel. Just I'll put in Excel. Or if I want in CSV, I'll put in CSV. If I want in PDF, how do you want? The data, how you want, you can extract it. So if client is asking, they need the data, which format they want. They want in the Excel format, they want in PDF. You can ask and you can provide. Okay, this is the data. Okay, you can see these are the journal data. You can see data as well. Okay, by this way you can also pull out. Okay, and this is a real instance. There is some issue, I think, reports analytics. Okay, and let's go to, and you will be downloading these reports. You will be handing the client. Sometimes client will ask, can you provide the journal daily report data? Can you provide the AP invoice data? Can you provide which are rejected payments? Can you provide the invoice due invoices which are coming maybe next month, maybe in next week, the coming due invoices? Everything you can download. Based on that you can provide it. Okay, now go here. Okay,
So it's basically invoice creation, right?
yes, basically invoice.
We are creating invoice, correct?
As a consultant, we are not going to create,
It's
only
like
end users. Consultant, what is our work? Especially our work, consultant. Let me tell you very clearly. Consultant, we are going to design the application. Design the application. Or you can call it as a configurations. Configuration. These are the two things. Whereas end users, what they'll do? They'll create the invoices. Create the invoices. Validation. Okay, audit. If you remember, if you are aware of the audit, how they perform, then they will release for the payments. Release for the payments, and they also work on the reconciliations. We are not going to do these activities in the when are we going to do these activities? In the starting phase, that is an implementation phase. Suppose you configure something, suppose AP, you have done configuration, then you need to do the testings whether the functions are working or not by creating one invoice, whether payments are working correctly or by doing some payments. Okay, some GL side, so you have made it some configuration, you need to cross it, so that we call it the QA testing. So you will be doing the evidence documents. You should have what are the configuration you worked, you have done it. All the functionalities are working or not as expected, as what are the configuration you have done. If there is any mismatch, again you'll come back to the configuration level. You will be fixing it. But this is like only in the implementation project. Now support project. Let's take a support project. What are you going to do? What are the users are facing? Users are raising tickets. Suppose any issue, any production issue, real-time issue, they will be raising the tickets. So you will be working on, if you are getting assigned these particular tickets, you will be working on. In enhancement, there is one more enhancement. Here also, what is it? You will get the requirement from the client. Here, you should play very important role. Business requirement. Yeah. So business requirement. Business requirement. You should understand the business requirement first. You should understand what business is asking. You should understand the requirements. Understand the requirements. And we perform the analysis. Whether the requirement we have the functionalities in the Fusion application. Whether that is a straightforward requirement, whether we can implement it, or we don't have that such kind of suppose now I want some, let me take some simple journals. Okay, let me 1 second. We have journals. Okay, now we have two ledgers, primary ledger, let's take an GL side, or secondary ledger. Now client requirement, they want only process a particular code combinations or particular journal into only in second ledger. They don't want to process the journals in the primary ledger. Now you need to do the analysis whether this functionality is available or not. If there is availability, you will do some POC, the proof of concept, then you will work on. If there is no availability, what will do? We will going to raise the service request. Service request. And Oracle team will be doing some development. They will be working on it. If they get it, any resolution, they will be providing. Based on that, you will be doing the testings in the lower instance. If the 100% the functions are working as per the Oracle team provided, then you will be reach out in the client. You will be providing the one demonstration. See, this is what Oracle has provided. And can we have, so I have done some configuration. I have done some testing. These are working. If these are good, we can go ahead. If you are, so you will provide the demonstration to the client. If client is accepting, client is happy, then you will do the implementation. You will do the start in the development. Okay, our work is only doing the configuration. Okay, and in the support, right, you will be doing the ticketings. What are the real-time issues they are facing it, you will be fixing it. In enhancement, the client side, you need to understand the business requirement. Based on that, you will be performing the analysis. Then later you will be implementing. And moreover, let us take an example. Nowadays, what happened earlier? Okay, now teams, how teams are working. Suppose implementation project. Implementation. Now, let's take an example, financial models. GL, AP, AR, FA, cash management. Suppose in a client is implementing all these financial modules at time. Now, do you think that you are going to work on all financial modules? No. You will be working on a one module. In that also, you will be taking some part. You will be taking some part, not entire. Suppose there is so much to complete one modules. There are 10 people in the one module assigned. Okay, 10 resources are working for the GL module for implementation, and your part will be, suppose you are in a data migration. Let's say one example. What is your activity? You need to collect the data. you need to do the validation, you need to load into the Fusion application. Everything has to be perfect. The 10 years data, 5 years data, with the support, two people are there. Okay, two people, you and your other colleague. Then you, both of you coordinate. Suppose you will be loading the supply data, you will be working on the master data, supply data, and customer data, and other colleague working on the transaction data. That is journals, invoices, okay, anything. So you will divide your work, and you will suppose you want to work on the, suppose let's take your project manager or your manager as given the allocation as well, the assignment. So you work on the supplier, okay, and another colleague will work on the master data, and moreover you work on the journal transaction, and your colleague will work on the AP, because you will learn both the things, like master data you will be loading as well as the transaction data as well. The work can also be assigned like this. It is nowhere that you will work as per your convenience. It is purely project driven, project implementation. Then there is a time frame. Every day you have to complete what are the assigned activities if you are working in the implementation project. In support project, it's okay if there is a dependency. There is a dependency. And moreover, few projects, few clients will not follow the SLA, that is service level agreement or metrics. If they are not following, then it's okay. You can maybe, if you are struggling somewhere, maybe you are not able to find out the resolution, you take some time. You may be reaching to your leads, your managers. So there is no harm to reach out. If you are keeping the ticket in your bucket, maybe more than 2 days, what will happen? You need to answerable. So better we will be reaching to the our lead consultant or managers. Okay. And let me go to, give me 1 second. Okay. And moreover, let me show you. There are some. And this is about data migration, roles and responsibilities. Okay, how price will come, type of project, types of issues we have discussed. Now let me show you regarding instance. Okay. Yesterday also we discussed, we have this instance, whatever I'm using, that is a real-time instance. Okay, real-time instance. Okay, where organizations are using. And whatever we are going to provide the instance in our course, okay, we are going to provide the free instance. Free instance, no chargeable, free instance, okay, free materials, okay, free instance, free materials, and we have assignments. Okay, we can let me show you assignments as well so that you'll understand. Bi-weekly we'll be conducting. So these are the assignments. This is an AP module, okay, and what we are going to conduct as if that you are going to attend for the interview. It is not like that we'll just assign the one assignment, and different type of. Now this is a payable assignment one, and we can observe real time AP. Real time means what is just now we discussed. You can see user is not able to see the prepayment invoice while trying to apply for stand invoice. Resolve the issue. In the learning stage only, you are going to act as a consultant. You are going to play an important role. Okay, supplier invoice rejected in bank level. What could be the reason? As a consultant, these are the real time. As a consultant, you need to provide the resolution. You need to do the analysis. What analysis could be you have to perform? See, supplier invoice and hold. What could be the reason? Supplier invoice and hold. What could be the reason? Two times it has been coming. Okay, no problem. Scroll down. While loading the invoices through ADFD, we have used the ADF transaction. Okay, and getting an error. User is raised a support ticket. Resolve the issue. What could be? You need to analyze. Then, as an assumption, we are giving this one, but this entire questions, whatever you are giving, this entire already subject we have covered. And invoice paid to incorrect view. What action you will take if the ticket raised? Okay, Invoice is rejecting automatically by system in approval level. Resolve the issue. What could be the reason? This entire question, whatever we are assigning, everything is already discussed in the sessions. Okay. And moreover, you will suppose if you are enrolling in the June batch, okay, you will have the drive access to the June, okay, you will have the drive access where the sessions will be loaded in the drive access. You will take your email ID and will be given the drive access after completing the session. After completing the session, you will be watching, okay, the recording session. You will be note down your questions or queries, whatever, and you will be reaching out. And not only that one, for non-working, suppose if you have time, okay, you are able to spend good time. What we are giving is the previous batch, okay, whatever we completed most of the concepts. So let's take it March. This drive access we are going to give you. Why we are going to give you means, if you have time that you are able to complete the course in the 4 months that you want to get job. If you have the source available in your hand, you can watch the advanced sessions. So tomorrow we are going to have one session. Suppose today you have time, you can watch it. Go to GL. Suppose you want to watch, and you should watch the session in a sequencing order. If you have source means you cannot watch any session. If you are not watching these 9 sessions, you started with the GL. What you will understand? You will not understand anything. For namesake, you will be watching the session because you have the source. Suppose today we completed first one. Okay. Then you need to watch only second if you have time. Don't jump into the sequencing order. If you watch second session, tomorrow I am going to explain about this one. You will understand, okay, yesterday I have completed. Now today I am getting the revised session. Okay, I am really happy. Okay, I got it the points. Whatever questions you have, you will be asking in the session, interaction, live sessions. Okay, and materials will be providing here. Okay, all materials, you no need to prepare any document, and instance also will be provided. And moreover, as we discussed, you can observe or you can go to any institution. We have dedicated mentor, dedicated mentors. Means if you have any questions, okay, if you have any doubts, you want a practice session, you want help from the mentor, mentor is available to help you. Not only mentor, I am available always. Okay, you can through WhatsApp channel always. This is a communication. You can reach out to us and we'll be fixing. And we have the evidence that whatever time you ping us, whatever time you reach out to us, we'll be there. Until unless morning, okay. Let's take an example. 2:30 a.m. to, okay, morning. This time, okay, 2:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. we cannot be available. That is sure. Most of the time, this after 2, let's take an 2 only, okay. From 2 to 6:30 we are not available morning, and remaining time 6:30 to, okay, let's say 2 a.m. will be available. Myself, I am available because I have the sessions in the morning. I have a job, then I have sessions. I'll continue. And mentor also working as a freelancing, okay, work from home. He will be available from the again 6:30 to 2 a.m. Suppose you are today you planned it for tomorrow. Tomorrow you planned for practice. Let's say Saturday. Suppose you want only online practice, online support you want. So schedule your time with the mentor and mention. See now slot. You can take the slot as well. Morning 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. 2 hours I need your time slot. Can you please fix this one? So that you will be dedicated this 11 to 1 p.m. to only for single individual. Suppose in the group there are 10 people. Now everyone is available morning 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for practice. They need the mentor availability, mentor guidance. Then you'll take for entire 10 people morning 10 to 1 p.m. 1 p.m. You can ask doubts, you can practice, you can have entire questions, queries, note down, and the session also will be recorded. If you want, you can record the session. That's what we maintain. Let me show you. Because it will be very easy for me, because what are the sessions you are going to do, again, I am going to review it. Whether what discussion you made it. You can see GL overview discussion by students. Overview discussion by students. Right? Students will join in the Zoom. If the mentor is available, mentor will, if suppose your friend and your colleague is there in the same batch, okay, now you want to connect, then you can connect it and you can discuss. But you have some questions, you want to record it for the future, you can record it. Because the Zoom license, we have the 24 hours where anybody can join the Zoom and you can utilize the Zoom as well. Okay, the current batch, May batch, okay, recent batch, May morning batch, there are three people, three students who regularly after the session regularly spends regularly spends 2 hours for practice. Morning, again evening they'll conduct, they will reach out. If there are any question, immediately while practicing only they'll reach out to me, and I'll be joining the Zoom, I'll be clearing the doubts. Because if I don't respond, if I don't give that resolution, they will be stopping the practice, they are not going to move from here. So practice is very important for the students, and moreover we have to be available while you are practicing. If you are getting any doubts, then you are not moving from one application to other application, one configuration to other configuration. Then who will be reaching? If not trainers, if not mentors, if suppose your colleagues also new to the application, even they also don't know the 100%. So mostly we have to be available. So that's what we say, always availability of time is very important. And we ask you to, every individual whoever enroll, we ask every individual to attend the live sessions, okay, complete the regular assignments, okay, mock interviews and discussion. Make sure you start with your communication, English communication. That is where you are going to attend or give your interview in only English, not in any other languages. Okay, and discussion, more on discussion. You practice twice, but discuss multiple times. Discussion, what will happen, the concept you start with a small, but you learn with the longer concept wise. And you always add your concept into the your project, because you are going to keep in your resume. Whatever the resume you are going to keep, you have to be very, day one onwards you have to think that, okay, these are the projects I'm going to keep. Okay, I need to tag with the only project wise. Whatever the discussion you do, project wise you need to discuss. Okay, so tomorrow onwards we are starting with the 9:30 p.m. regular sessions. Regular sessions. 9:30 p.m. to, okay, and tomorrow is 8th. 8th June. Okay, 8th June 26 regular sessions from 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. So make sure you attend the live sessions, okay, so that you will have the interactions. If you watch recording, you will not understand much. Okay, right. Thanks everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for time. Okay, tomorrow please be available 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Yes, from starting only, scratch to end. We start with the scratch, not with any middle sessions. From day one, like a fresher, how you start your job in a fresher. If you are not having any work experience also, we start with the fresh only. How freshers can understand, same as how people, working people also can understand. If you are able to tell about regular session, suppose the sessions has to be very interactive and very real-time sessions. Okay, right. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Yeah, same to you.